Hello again, it's me, Mrs. Boucher. I'm so glad you're here to listen to another story. I have something to show you. Look what I'm holding. It looks like a potato, doesn't it? Do you like potatoes? Maybe you like potatoes mashed up with lots of butter. Maybe you like them baked. Maybe you like them some other way, fried like French fries. But I have a secret. This, even though it looks like a potato, listen. That was me knocking this on my table. It's a rock. It's a rock that looks like a potato. Is it really a potato? No. Even if I put this in boiling water, it wouldn't be yummy to eat. It's a rock. And it's not the same as a potato, even though it kind of looks like it. So it is a fake potato, isn't it? Yes. How many of you know how many gods there are? If you said one, you're right. There is one true God. But sometimes people have fake gods, and they're not real. Just like this is not a real potato. And we are going to learn today about some people who had a fake God. Do you want to hear the story? Good. I have my Bible with me again today, and I'm reading, if your mom and dad want to know, I'm reading from the book of 1 Samuel, chapters 4 through 7. I'm going to kind of sum them up. So, this is a time when the Israelites were at war. They would have battles. And so chapter 4 starts out with a big battle between Israel and the Philistines. And guess who won? No, not Israel. The Philistines defeated Israel. And Israel thought, well, maybe we need to bring the Ark of the Covenant here. So I need to stop a minute, because when I say ark, you might think about Noah building that big boat that we call an ark. But this is not that. The Ark of the Covenant was a special box. It was made out of wood and gold, and it had some special things inside it. Inside it were 2 tablets that had the 10 commandments on them. You remember what those are because we talked about them. And also there were some other special things in there. And this Ark of the Covenant helped the people of Israel to remember that God was with them. The Ark did not have special powers, but it did help them to remember that God was with them and He was in control. It was a reminder. So they said, let's bring the Ark of the Covenant to us. And when it got there, Israel was so happy. They shouted with joy. They were so excited. And the Philistines were very afraid. They knew that the one true God was with Israel, and they were worried. And so there was another battle. And guess who won this time? Nope, not Israel. Israel was defeated again, and the Philistines took the ark. They captured it, and they thought, aha, now we have this special box, so now their God will be on our side. Do you think that that's what happened? The Philistines did not believe in the one true God. In fact, the Philistines had a god that they believed in called Dagon. Yep. And so they took the Ark of the Covenant and they put it in the place where they would go and worship their false god, Dagon. And they set it up next to Dagon, and they thought that that was pretty good. And they went to sleep. And when they woke up in the morning, 1 Samuel tells us in chapter 5 what happened. When the people of Ashdod, that was the name of the city that they took it to, when the people there got up early the next morning, Dagon had fallen face down before the Ark of the Covenant. He had fallen down right in front of the Ark of the Covenant. And they put him back up where he was supposed to be. And the next night they went to sleep. And when they woke up again the next morning, Dagon again had fallen face down in front of the Ark of the Covenant, only this time Dagon, now remember Dagon was a false god, so he was like a statue. His head and his hands were cut off and they were laying in the doorway. So he had fallen over again that night. Well, this time the people of Ashdod were a little worried about what was happening. And the people of Ashdod started to get very, very sick. And they said, we have to get rid of the Ark of the Covenant. We are worried about why we are getting sick. And our god Dagon keeps falling on the ground. And so they said, we have to get rid of him. And so they put the Ark of the Covenant on a cart to be taken back to Israel. And that's exactly what it did. And that's how the Ark of the Covenant got back to Israel. But I just realized I forgot to tell you about something else that happened after that battle. So you might remember Samuel, who was the baby who was born to Hannah, and then he grew to be a boy, and he lived with Eli in the temple. Eli was a man who served God, but Eli let his sons do some things that were sinful, and he didn't stop them. And God had said to Eli that there would be punishment for that. And so, after that battle where the Philistines took the Ark of the Covenant, a man came running from the battle to tell everybody the bad news that Israel had lost the battle again. And as he was running, Eli was sitting there, and Eli was a very old man at this time, and he said, "What happened? What's all the shouting about? Is it good shouting? Are we happy? Or is it bad shouting?" And the man said, "Oh, it's bad shouting. Israel lost the battle, and the Philistines took the Ark of the Covenant." And Eli was so upset that he was sitting there, and he tipped over and died. God had promised that if Eli didn't obey him, that there would be punishment. And this was part of the punishment. Oh my goodness, so many great things to learn in this story. But I think one of the main things that we want to remember is, how many gods are there? One. There is one true God. Anybody else who worships a different God, it's not really a god. It's like saying that Mrs. Boucher has a potato. But guess what? This is not a real potato. It's a rock. And just like you wouldn't want to eat this rock, you only want to worship the one true God.